11 News starts with breaking news.
We are following breaking news in the West End, where a car plunged off a bridge into a creek. A woman and a child had to be rescued. Thanks for joining us. I'm Gordon Lesh. We're told the child is okay. Rescuers had to use a basket, though, to bring the woman up, and she was rushed to the hospital. The driver lost control of the car on Woodville Avenue and dropped about 15 feet into the creek. A crane was brought in to lift the car out. We are also following breaking news in Penn Hills, where there is police activity around the Mount Carmel Cemetery. We just got in this new video showing police and an ambulance on scene. Allegheny County officials tweeted that Fairburn Drive at Mount Carmel Road is shut down. Look for breaking updates on this story throughout this newscast. Police are looking for a shooter after a man was found slumped over in an SUV. The side passenger windows and back window were shattered. This happened in a neighborhood that doesn't see a lot of violent crime. And Channel 11's Mike Holden first followed the shooting in Elwood City as it was breaking during our morning newscast and spoke with neighbors shocked by the shooting.
All that's left of this crime scene at this point is this shattered glass. State police tell us they're investigating after a man was found shot in an SUV right here along this Lawrence County road. And community members we spoke with say, quite literally, nothing like this ever happens in this neighborhood. State police swarmed Mercer Road and shut down the quiet street in Perry Township, Elwood City for hours. This is where investigators say a man was shot multiple times around 2 o'clock this morning. He was rushed to a local hospital. We watched from a distance as police gathered evidence from the middle of the roadway. Our Channel 11 camera captured at least a dozen evidence markers and a couple shell casings. At one point, detectives snapped several photos of the victim's SUV. A tow truck eventually moved in and hauled it away. The back window was shot out, the front and back passenger side windows gone. People who live near this incident here say this is extremely shocking, and they just want to know why.
You watch the news every day, and you know, it's not going to be close to you, and I guess sometimes it is, you know. I kind of up here early in the morning, and strange, very strange, yeah.
Now, we're still getting additional updates from state police, but at last check, there have been no arrests. I'm now talking with neighbors about the moments they heard about this shooting, and that part of the story is coming up for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting in Lawrence County, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
A man who was shot in Homestead this morning has died. When our photographer pulled up to West 14th Avenue, medics were still treating Eric Johnson on the scene. Police say they got the call just after midnight, and the victim died shortly after he arrived at the hospital. No arrests have been made. Well, sun and clouds today and more rain in the forecast. Let's head over to meteorologist Stephanie Allison in Severe Weather Center 11. Stephanie, good afternoon.
Gordon, good afternoon. Much better. This temperature change, 7 degrees warmer now here at this hour from yesterday at noon. So looking better. We're going to be back to average today. This weekend was cold and damp, very chilly, well below average. And now finally we're getting there. Look at this, 70 degrees here at the noon hour under a partly cloudy sky. A calm wind, but those winds are going to play really a big role in our forecast here coming up in the next 24, 48 hours. I'm going to talk about that here in the next 15 minutes and how it's going to make us feel a little more humid as we head into Wednesday night into Thursday. Temperatures right now very comfortable. 68 in Butler, 70 in Pittsburgh, 66 in Newcastle, 69 in Beaver. Further off to the south, 69 in Washington, Waynesburg, and 68 in Greensburg. Changes are coming. We're talking more rain on the way. These dew points indicate that's very comfortable air. This is changing as well. Those details next 15 minutes. Gordon, back to you.
Thanks, Stephanie. Some scary moments at one of the area's most popular malls. On Saturday, Ross Park Mall was put on lockdown after shots were fired during a fight near guest services. 2 teenagers were taken into custody, and police told us as many as 6 people may have been involved, but investigators are still trying to identify those people. Ross Park Mall does not have any cameras inside, so investigators are trying to use cell phone video and pictures to piece together what happened. Channel 11's Gabrielle DeLuca has more on the push to get surveillance cameras installed.
As detectives continue to investigate the shooting that happened over the weekend at Ross Park Mall, they're running into an issue, and that is the fact that Simon Property Group does not put surveillance cameras inside the mall.
was coming out of Nordstrom's, passing like the men's shoes, and then that's when I heard just all the commotion, the big bangs.
Jason Bertocchi was in Ross Park Mall Saturday late afternoon when there was a fight and shots were fired.
I'm obviously going to continue to shop online because it's clearly much safer than going to the mall. It's unfortunate that happened.
Ross Township Police have arrested 2 teens. Our cameras were there as they were escorted out of the police department. Today, a detective told me they're still looking to identify people who were involved in that fight. But they're having to rely on cell phone video because Simon Property Group, the company who owns the mall, doesn't put surveillance cameras inside the mall.
Despite numerous attempts by our department to convince Simon Properties to put cameras in the mall, they have continually refused to do that.
Shoppers like Bertocchi says he would feel better about going to the mall if there were cameras.
I think cameras would deter people from doing that again. So if they wanted to put them in moving forward, I think it would be a good idea for everyone's safety.
Channel 11 reached out to Simon Property Group about why there aren't cameras inside the mall and if they anticipate changing that. We haven't heard back.
Now we're wasting manpower to try and track this down, like via cell phone cameras or whatever means necessary. But if we just had cameras in the mall, we could zero in and, find everyone out.
Ross Township Police are asking if you know anything that happened about the shooting or know anyone who may have been involved to give them a call. Reporting in Ross Township, Gabriella DeLuca, Channel 11 News.
An arrest has been made in connection with a threat at Newcastle's prom last week. It caused the prom to end early and put the school on lockdown. Newcastle police say a suspect is now in custody, but they did not go into specifics. President Joe Biden will help commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre later today. Britt Conway has a look back at what happened through the eyes of one of the last remaining survivors.
Greenwood, Oklahoma, 1921, a vibrant, affluent city within a city in North Tulsa, home to more than 300 Black-owned businesses, where entrepreneurs, art, and culture flourished. It became known as Black Wall Street. Now, it's known as the site of a horrific massacre. Viola Fletcher was just 7 years old then.
They were killing people and burning houses. We could see people running and people laying on the ground, probably bleeding from being shot and killed.
As many as 300 were killed.
Smelled smoke with houses burning.
A community burned to the ground, 35 city blocks destroyed, 10,000 Black Tulsans left homeless. For decades, there have been calls for reparations.
The generational wealth that you have today, the land that you have today, all of that began with all that destruction.
But now, with Democrats controlling the U.S. House and Senate, a renewed hope. And Monday, President Joe Biden said, the federal government must reckon with and acknowledge the role that it has played in stripping wealth and opportunity from Black communities. Half a city block is all that's left of Greenwood now, and it's mostly white-owned. But for Viola, the loss, the fear remain.
I'm afraid that something like that might happen again.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
We have new information on the plans to replace ousted Pine Richland High School football coach Eric Kasparovich. We've learned the district is set to name Stephen Campos as his replacement. He spent the last 7 years as an assistant coach at Seneca Valley. His team was supposed to play Pine Richland last year. That game was postponed, though, due to the pandemic. He has also coached football at several colleges, including Washington and Jefferson, Robert Morris, and Bethany College. Kasparovich was let go along with his entire coaching staff after an investigation by the district into allegations of bullying and hazing. All the coaches denied the allegations, and Kasparovich has filed a defamation lawsuit. We expect to learn more during a special board meeting at Pine Richland tomorrow night. New at noon, Moderna has filed for full FDA approval of its COVID-19 vaccine. Right now, the vaccine is in the U.S. market under an emergency use authorization. The approval process is likely to take months. Pfizer is also awaiting full FDA approval on its vaccine. Also new at noon, concerts will return to Stage AE in August. Concerts were one of the first things to feel the impact of the pandemic. Shows were canceled when we went into lockdown. Stage AE has now scheduled its first event August 4th and will be hosting Steelers tailgate parties once again. We have a full list of all the concerts up now at WPXI.com and on the WPXI News app. Even though the state has lifted nearly all COVID restrictions, we're still dealing with major challenges, and that includes finding workers. Channel 11 has been telling you about restaurants, summer camps, and local pools struggling to find enough workers. Many of them are offering pay raises or signing bonuses to try to lure people in. We talked to a young man who recently lost his job and got 2 new ones.
There are jobs plenty available. Like I said, you just have to look in the right spots that you're able to.
We also talked to a food truck owner who's been able to avoid the issue because of the nature of his business.
That was one of the other keys, was having low overhead and not having a lot of employees. Like I was able to shut down from March to June.
Since reopening, he tells us neighborhoods have really supported food trucks while big events were shut down. He's the longest serving prime minister in Israel, in power for 12 years and known as a political survivor. But Benjamin Netanyahu could be out in a matter of days. NBC's Kelly Kobayea reports from Tel Aviv.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is fighting for his political life. The threat coming from a former ally. In a surprise move, right-wing politician Naftali Bennett throwing his support behind an opposition coalition, a move that would make Bennett prime minister and push Netanyahu out of power. It comes just 12 days into a fragile ceasefire with Hamas. The Israeli leader has slammed the coalition hoping to replace him as a dangerous leftist government. Netanyahu's popularity has been slipping. He's facing trial for bribery and fraud, charges he denies.
We have a prime minister that's been in office for so many years, for way too long. And it's
nobody can do it for so long without making mistakes. And his mistakes are bigger than his achievements. So it's time to move. Let somebody else do the job.
Naftali Bennett leads a far-right religious party. 49 years old, the son of American immigrants, a tech millionaire who supports settlements. But as prime minister, he would share power with centrists and liberals and would find it hard to change the status quo.
The assessment in Washington that this is not a government which will last the full term of 4 years, but is more likely to be an interim one until the next election.
Overnight, the coalition parties came closer to reaching a final power-sharing agreement, but it's not official until it's voted on in the Knesset, or Israeli parliament. Kelly Kobayea, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
The first real blockbusters since the pandemic are now in theaters. The changes you will and won't see at the movies.
Shame on them, because they're really missing out on a wonderful child.
This 14-year-old has big dreams with her baton, but she was cut from her school's team. How a local mom is fighting for her daughter's spot on the field.
More clouds today, but temperatures finally back to average, and rain returns. I'll let you know when. Next.
Shame on them because they're really missing out on a wonderful child that is so much to add.
A mother is fighting for her child's spot on her school's majorettes team. She told Channel 11's Serafina James she thinks her daughter was cut from tryouts because she has a disability.
Ice cream scoops. Angelina Gizzi has had a baton in her hand airplane since she was 4 years old. Butterfly. The 14-year-old has had her moves down, and she has the trophies to prove it. So when she went to try out for her school's majorette team and didn't make the cut, it came as a shock to the Shaler School District freshman and her family.
I just don't understand why. It was, you know, out of everybody that tried out, we had 2 freshmen, and why one was taken and one wasn't.
Angelina's mom, Tony, tells me her daughter has an intellectual disability, something the district is well aware of. They even created an individualized education plan for her.
Saying that she can participate in sports and not be excluded for anything. And they should properly give her an aid to help her succeed in anything she wants to do in Shaler.
But according to Gizzi, special accommodations weren't made. And when she approached the district to ask why her daughter won't become a Shaler area majorette, the district told her they didn't want an aide on the field and thought the noise from the crowd would be too overwhelming for Angelina.
I feel like it's a little bit of discrimination, to say the least, amongst other things.
I reached out to the district about the matter. They told me in part, quote, Shaler area makes every attempt to be inclusive in all educational and extracurricular activities and provides accommodations for all of our students to be successful. They went on to say, unfortunately, we're not able to comment on specific student matters. However, we can share that the school district is open to working with our families.
Yeah. High five.
In the meantime, Gizzi's message for her daughter is to keep on twirling. And her message for the district.
This year they're going to Disney, and I personally think they just wanted the perfect squad. Shame on you. That's all I can say.
Serafina James, Channel 11 News.
This September 11th will be 20 years since the terrorist attacks. It also marks 20 years since the start of the war on terror. And now there's a push to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice with a memorial on the National Mall.
It's our duty to honor the people who served.
Congressman Jason Crow of Colorado and Congressman Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin are both veterans and both pushing a bill that seeks Congress's authorization for a National Mall location.
I think we've seen decade after decade the importance of veterans and their families, those who lost loved ones in that war, the ability to come to a place and to bring their kids and their grandkids to that place and reflect on the meaning of that experience.
Serve as a reminder for all Americans about how lucky we are to be Americans, but the cost that a lot of people pay in order to keep us safe and keep us free as a country.
Crow and Gallagher's bill has the backing of more than 140 bipartisan members. Plan on seeing and hearing more fireworks in your neighborhood this summer. A fireworks company in Ohio says the demand for fireworks is so high they've had to turn some customers away.
It's actually 180 degrees in a different direction where we're having to turn down business.
Now the fireworks company is rushing to hire more crews to shoot off the fireworks to meet the demand. Target is reopening its fitting rooms, telling USA Today the plan is for all stores to reopen dressing rooms by today, with the exception of a small number that are being used for COVID vaccinations. Target says it will continue to frequently disinfect and clean stores throughout the day, especially high-touch areas like fitting rooms. Kohl's also recently reopened its fitting rooms as more customers return to stores. A judge has ordered the Ace Hotel in East Liberty to stay closed until a legal dispute is resolved. According to our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, the New York-based Ace Hotel Group filed an emergency motion to stop the local ownership from reopening as an independent property. Last year, a company was in talks to buy the property, but the local owners say it's not for sale and they want to run it themselves.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Allison. Beautiful, very comfortable and pleasant weather right now, and it stays that way this afternoon and this evening. 70 degrees in Pittsburgh, currently 68 in Butler, 69 in Washington. These numbers, they're going to go up from here. We're going to get to the mid 70s and dew points. Look at this. In the 40s, 50s. This just tells you it is comfortable, but it is going to change as we head into tomorrow. So cloudy skies with us right now. As you can see, there's some light green on the radar off to the north, but the air is so dry, not hitting the ground. We're going to continue to see the cloud cover with us here in Pittsburgh, but notice I widened this view for you to show you the system right here, this low pressure system that's going to start to really move on in. So clouds ahead of this, and then chance of rain showers returns in our forecast tomorrow. They're going to be more isolated for Wednesday, but very unsettled here Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So today, staying dry, just the cloud cover. And of course, if you are headed outside, and you should, make sure you have that sunscreen on and handy and reapply every 2 hours. Look at this, 76 degrees this afternoon at 4 o'clock this evening. Just beautiful. Our average high there, 76. And our average overnight lows, 55. And we are going to be close to that mark tomorrow to start our day. So we are going to look at these numbers, 76. We are going to drop a few degrees into Wednesday, but overall we're going to keep the 70s in the forecast, so that's good news. 76 for your high in Pittsburgh today, 72 in Butler, 72 in Beaver. And so what I'm talking about this evening, we're going to drop to the 50s, not the 40s like we've seen. We've had some very cold starts the last couple of mornings. We're not going to do that tomorrow morning because of the cloud cover. That's going to keep those temperatures up for us overnight. So this evening, great for grilling, or if you want to do a fire pit, great night for that. 57 will start your day tomorrow morning. Still lots of clouds around. Dry today. That changes though for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Very unsettled weather. It's not going to be a washout all of those days, but certainly something you want to plan for, so you have that umbrella handy with you over the next couple of days. Unsettled weather starts tomorrow. Look at this low pressure system off to the southwest. Tomorrow, not humid just yet. What will happen is the wind will shift, and that's going to bring that humid air in. By Wednesday night at midnight, dew points will be above that 60-degree mark. So that's very uncomfortable weather in the forecast. Forecast for tomorrow, 68 at 1 o'clock, 72 at 5. So temperatures, yes, a few degrees cooler than today. Tomorrow, 71 degrees in Pittsburgh, 68 in Butler, 74 in Greensburg. But overall, not too bad. Better chance for thunderstorms, a little more activity there for Thursday, but still just that small threat. We'll keep an eye on that for you as we head towards Thursday. Friday, we're looking at scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast there at 75. So look at that. Finally, some nice weather in the forecast in the way of temperatures, not that cold, dreary, kind of soggy weekend that we had this past weekend. So we're trending nicer and warmer for us today. But as I mentioned, that unsettled weather Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Saturday 83. And with your weekend always in view, I want to show you that we are going to stay on the 80s as we head into Sunday as well. Sunday's high, if this graphic wants to come up, will be 85 degrees. I'll show you that here coming up the next half hour.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. More than just rides, the new Food and Drink Festival coming to Kennywood.
He woke up in handcuffs.
And an unlucky break for a teenager, how he found himself on the wrong side of the law. The case of a mistaken house led to a rude awakening for a teenager in Wisconsin. Police say the teen was drunk when he got into an Airbnb and fell asleep. Well, it turns out that was full of sheriff's deputies. It wasn't his Airbnb. The deputies were renting the house at the time, and one of the deputies documented what happened.
This silly guy found the one Airbnb in all of downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin, loaded with cops. He woke up in handcuffs.
Teenager not facing charges because police believe he simply walked into the wrong home, but now, of course, living in infamy on the internet. The world's largest meat supplier has been hit with a cyber attack. JBS processes beef, pork, and other prepared foods. The company says an organized cybersecurity attack targeted some of its servers for North America and Australia. The company said there's no indication data had been compromised or misused. It's unclear how this will play out as far as prices, but if you cooked out this past weekend, you probably noticed meat prices are already climbing. Beef prices are up 10% from last year. Bacon costs about 40 cents more per pound, and steak costs about $1 more. Experts say reasons range from pandemic-related slowdowns at meat plants to fewer long-haul truckers to get the product to stores. Experts say prices will level out, but likely not until the fall. The state's unemployment system is about to get an upgrade. What you need to know if you're applying for benefits and why the state believes the new system will ease frustrations. And after more than 15 months, capacity limits are gone. How the changes could be good for your health. A breaking update now from Penn Hills. A witness just told us that he saw a shooting there. We told you minutes ago about police activity around the Mount Carmel Cemetery, and you can see police and an ambulance on the scene. The witness told us a man up the street had just finished cutting the grass and got into a truck, and that's when another man fired shots at him in the truck. Then the witness saw another car drive up, pick up the gunman, and take off. The neighbor we spoke with described the violence.
Got in his vehicle, got in his truck. A young man ran up on the side of him with a mask and a black hoodie, shot him 9 times. He tried to get out on the other side. He kept shooting at him.
Scary situation. That man said he went to try to get help for the victim after he saw what happened. And we have a crew working on this right now. Look for updates as we get them in this newscast and throughout the day on Channel 11 News. Changes are coming this week if you apply for unemployment. The Pennsylvania Department of Labor says they hope it will make it easier for people to access unemployment benefits. Channel 11's Angie Moreski explains what exactly is changing and why there could still be a few more bumps in the road.
Some of the wait times were like 16 hours, and then it dropped down to 4 hours, and then the system would drop you off the system.
Butler resident Dennis Crouch was one of thousands in the state who used the old system and dealt with long delays and headaches to get his unemployment benefits.
It was terrible. It's just like hit and miss. So many people were trying to get on the website. That was the most frustrating part.
He says the site has recently been working better, though.
This past Sunday, it was super fast.
Now that old system will go offline on June 3rd to make the transition. So if you have to file for benefits this week, you should do it no later than Wednesday.
Obviously, within the first month of going live with the new system, there's going to be some issues that are going to inherently need to be ironed out. And also our folks are going to need to get used to the system as well.
Another change, the new system will move to weekly filing for unemployment instead of bi-weekly. The department is also reminding people initial claims are offline, so you're not able to open a new claim right now, but will between June 8th and 12th and can backdate the claim to May 30th.
Are you bracing yourself for problems again?
A little bit of patience and read what's in front of you, and that's the best way to avoid any type of frustration.
Also, at the end of July, people applying will have to once again prove they are searching for work in the week before applying for benefits, which Dennis thinks is a good thing.
Employers are picking up the pace with wages, so it's an opportunity to get better pay by doing this because you're actively looking for something that you would like.
And another thing to be aware of, the department says that the Memorial Day holiday could delay your benefits by 1 or 2 days. The new system is set to launch on June 8th, so expect a few hiccups, but hopefully it will be smoother moving forward. Allegheny County's African-American population is more vulnerable to the effects of COVID-19 than white residents. That's according to a new study from the RAND Corporation. It found neighborhoods that are most at risk had more black residents, something the Black Equity Coalition has been saying, and now they have the data to prove it.
Case rates, hospitalizations, and deaths for most of the pandemic have been higher for black residents in Allegheny County compared to especially white residents and other residents of the county.
The organization created a data visualization tool for the pandemic. It will show where the virus is spreading and could help with targeted vaccination efforts in at-risk neighborhoods. You can now sign up to win prizes for CVS just for getting your COVID vaccine. The pharmacy chain plans to give away cruises, vacations, and a trip to the Super Bowl. To be eligible, you have to get your shot at one of its pharmacies. CVS is just one way people can earn money for getting a vaccine. Channel 11 told you Ohio is giving 1 million people, or $1 million, I should say, to 5 people. It's also giving away 4-year scholarships to state schools for teens who get the shot. When Pennsylvania first eased capacity restrictions, it meant little to gyms working with limited space. But now that those restrictions are lifted entirely, gym owners tell Channel 11's Jillian Hartman they're expecting a boom as more people look to lose those pandemic pounds.
Well, hitting the gym is going to look more normal starting today because the state has lifted most mitigation orders, and this is what small gyms have been waiting for. Pure Barre in Wexford is on its way to being back in full swing.
But hindsight 2020, it took a long time to get here, and it's very exciting.
Since capacity and social distancing state restrictions have been lifted, gyms in Pennsylvania are now allowed to be at 100% capacity.
It feels awesome. We're all ready for it. It's been past due.
Small gyms like Burn Boot Camp in Wexford are especially excited. When the state previously increased capacity, class sizes essentially stayed the same because of social distancing requirements.
It was less about the occupancy and more about the 6x6 because to be 6x6, we could only fit 34 people, even though our 75% capacity was higher than that.
Wexford's head trainer, Matt White, says classes will eventually be full again with 80 people. However, they are capping it at 50 per class until the staff gets into a good rhythm.
It is a whole different vibe. It's like going back to school after a summer break where you haven't seen these people in potentially a year, and again, as a small gym, we get invested in people's health and life. So it's like seeing a friend you haven't seen in a long time.
Pure Barre is also taking baby steps to increase capacity. The CDC already said fully vaccinated people can go maskless and they don't need a social distance.
Since the restrictions have been lifted, we've had a lot of new interest. So a lot of people that are tired of working out at home, that want to be back in the studio, this is a great opportunity for them to come back.
Now, Pure Barre and Burn Boot Camp in Wexford are both aiming to be back at full capacity in the next few weeks. Reporting in Wexford, I'm Jillian Hartman, Channel 11 News.
Congratulations! Wow.
How parents are stepping up so their kids don't miss out on a school tradition. And rethinking architecture, a house built with a 3D printer. Coming up next. Channel 11 told you the post office wants to raise the price of stamps to 58 cents, but that's not all. It also wants to raise prices on first-class mail by about 7%. The price increases are for part of the Postal Service's 10-year plan to erase some of its staggering debt. If approved, the changes would go into effect at the end of August. The post office also plans to save money by cutting office hours across the country. An architecture firm in Europe just used a 3D printer to build a two-story house. Inside a workshop in Belgium, the 968-square-foot dwelling was created with 60% less material than a conventional building of its size. It took months of preparation, but only 3 weeks to actually build. The same printer is now being used by students to develop more sustainable building solutions.
Clay is like a circular product. You can always reuse it, and then in that clay it's pre-pressed, so it's a dry system. We can place tubes in it, and in that tubes we deliver warm water or cool water.
Officials say the high-tech initiative could help modernize the construction industry and make it more sustainable. Didn't come cheap, though, start to finish. With all the research and projects, it cost about $2 million. First real blockbusters since the pandemic are now in theaters. The changes you will and won't see at the movies. It was a big weekend for the box office. More theaters are open. 2 big movies were released. Plus, it was a holiday weekend that made for the biggest box office weekend since January of last year. And more people are hitting our local movie theaters as well. 3 major movie theater chains, AMC Entertainment, Regal Cinemas, and Cinemark, announced fully vaccinated people are no longer required to wear a mask. We caught up with some people at the Cinemark in McCandless with mixed feelings about ditching the masks.
I'm just excited not to wear a mask and not have masks anymore.
I feel like we're conditioned now to wear masks, so it's kind of hard, like, even though I've been vaccinated for months, getting rid of it.
The movie theaters are still requiring its employees to mask up and those who are not vaccinated, unless eating or drinking. And they're still following social distancing inside, along with cleaning protocols and limited capacity. After Perry High School canceled its official prom earlier this spring, one mom quickly turned an event she was planning for her daughter into a prom for a group of her teens' classmates. And she worked with another parent to pull it off.
Since we already had the facility, we already had the food, we already had the entertainment set up, we decided to throw the kids a prom.
For us to not be able to have a prom, this was nice and well put together.
They received some donations, but handled most of the cost on their own. The classmates say they're thankful for the parents who made this day possible for them.
Your your severe winter Team 11 forecast.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful afternoon, 70 degrees. Yes, we have a little more cloud cover today, not those beautiful blue skies we saw yesterday, but it's still a lovely day and it's very comfortable. A nice calm wind. We're going to stay with those calm winds throughout the afternoon and evening. And then the wind shift is going to provide some humid air back in the forecast. It's going to take some time, and I'm going to time that out here in just a moment. But let's talk about these temperatures this afternoon. 74 at 2 o'clock. If you want to get outside and mow the lawn today or this evening, you have plenty of dry hours to do that. For today, we stay dry as high pressure is taking over. Just the cloud cover is back with us here today. 72 for the high in Butler today, 73 in Indiana, Greensburg, 73 in Washington. Not bad at all. Average high, mid-70s, looking good for today. Mostly cloudy. This is very average. Now, this evening, the sun goes down tonight at 8:45, so you have plenty of time this evening to get outside, maybe do the lawn work that you need to do or grill out. Great conditions for that. Tomorrow, things change as this high pressure scoots away and the next system starts to take shape for our area to bring us some rain showers. So overnight lows, because of the cloud cover, will keep temperatures in the 50s for us this evening or for the overnight hours to start tomorrow morning. Then you're going to want to pack that light rain jacket or umbrella, and you're going to need to keep it handy for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. This next low pressure system comes in from the southwest, and it's going to start to bring us rain showers in the forecast starting Wednesday morning. Look at this, 8 a.m. Some light isolated rain showers around. Could have a pocket of some moderate rain. Can't rule that out. Really, we're going to save the active weather for later Wednesday possible. This is also going to be very isolated, but better chance to see some scattered widespread showers and thunderstorms for Thursday. Thursday morning is what I'm looking at for us as we head into early Thursday. Timestamp there, 9 o'clock. Look at some of these pockets. We're going to have some heavy to moderate rainfall coming down. Also gusty winds within some of these thunderstorms. That is possible, but something we're going to keep an eye on for you for Thursday morning. And then again, looks to see another line come through here Thursday afternoon and evening. So 57 will start your morning tomorrow. As I mentioned, that light rain jacket, you'll want to take that with you, and the umbrella for you tomorrow because you may need it at times. It's not going to be a washout tomorrow. It's not going to be a washout on Thursday or Friday, but we do have that wet weather back with us. 71 for your high temperature tomorrow. Look at this. This is what I wanted to show you. Dew points. Things start to get uncomfortable. So it's pleasant right now, but by Wednesday at midnight, we're going to start to notice very uncomfortable conditions as it's going to continue into Thursday, and then it starts to kind of really start to feel like summer in here, you know, because humidity, it's been very pleasant. We've had dew points in the 40s and the 50s for us today, very comfortable outside, but that all changes with the system giving us very humid weather in the forecast for Thursday. Temperatures only make it to 72 there. As I mentioned, that's the day to watch for those scattered showers and thunderstorms where a few of those could become strong, and also a few of those as well for Friday. The weekend looking fantastic. We're talking 83 on Saturday and also 85 on Sunday with sunshine in the forecast. And that's kind of the weekend we wanted to have last weekend, right? But it's coming. It's around the corner. Gordon.
All right. Thanks, Stephanie. We have new video of a bear sighting. This is in Harrison Park in Penn Township. You can see what looks like a black bear roaming through someone's backyard. The security camera footage captured the bear at around 4:15 yesterday morning, and experts, of course, say that you need to make sure you don't leave any sources of food outside that could attract a bear.
Hey guys, I have something that is guaranteed to make you smile. Right now, we're all spending a lot of time at home, spending a lot of time with the family, and I'm sure your kids are going a little stir crazy and you'd like to make sure that they get their nap, right? How do you motivate your child to take a nap? Now, honestly, I nap on my own, but I'm an adult. So this is called Happy Nappers, and they are the cutest things. And I love this because you know that when your child goes down to take a nap, they can be on a bed, they can be on the floor, they can be on the couch, they can be halfway off something. I mean, when they're out, right? That's something to cuddle and they want to go to sleep and you're good. Wait till you see these. So, number one, they're cute pillows. Here's all the different ones. The white unicorn, the little kitty cat, the dog, the little pink unicorn. Look at the shark, and then the husky, and then the ladybug, and then the dragon. And this is a really plush pillow. So right off the bat, that's adorable, right? But wait for it, because every one of these opens up. There's two little snaps. It's a sleeping bag. I know. It unzips, your child gets in, and it's not just a little sheet. It's cozy and plush on the top and on the bottom, and then they put their head on their little unicorn pillow, already built in. They're machine washable, which is fabulous. And you know what? When your kids nap, half the time you're trying to get them to nap. How would you like to motivate them to nap? Oh, do you want to take a nap with your favorite unicorn? Do you want to get your happy napper, right? I'm going to send one to my niece, and she's not a kid anymore, but I know she's going to love it in her dorm room. And I have to say, if they had them in adult sizes, I would have one because I think they're adorable. So, you know how your child loves to have lots of different stuffed animals to play with and take a nap with? Get them a bunch of different ones. Perfect gift idea. Oh my gosh. And machine washable. Don't forget that. So right now on localsteals.com, you'll find a special offer. And all I'd say is pick a character, any character. I guarantee your child from 1 to 50 will absolutely love them.
This summer's hottest cocktail comes in a can, according to industry tracker IWSR. The pre-mixed cocktail category grew by 50% in the U.S. between 2019 and 2020. Experts say the rise of hard seltzer helped fuel the growing popularity of canned cocktails. A new study shows caffeine doesn't give your brain a boost if you're fighting sleep deprivation. Researchers asked people to complete a simple task and then a more challenging one. The people in the study were all sleep deprived, but they had caffeine in the morning. Scientists found that caffeine had little effect on the more challenging task for most people, unfortunately. Pittsburgh Zoo and PPG Aquarium kicked off the unofficial start of summer with a parade this weekend. The event featured superheroes and dancers from the Chauvelin Academy of Irish Dance, and the zoo is now open at full capacity. And more fun at Kennywood, the Bites and Pints Food and Drink Festival that begins on Friday. The park was saying that this was the biggest special event it's held in years. There will be 7 international cuisine stations located around Kennywood's Lagoon area, serving food bites, specialty cocktails, craft beer, and wine. The festival runs on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays this month. That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Thanks for joining us. Our next newscast is tonight at 5. Have a great day.